When it comes to modern India, better first you know what is modern India before entering into modern. Then what are the important chapters where from the examiner is setting the question. You people are all under the impression that history means wars, battles, kings and all that. Who won the war and who defeated whom and all that. This is nonsense. Not only for UPSC, even for your state services exams also, you are not getting questions on wars, battles, kings and all that. People are time and again asking me the question. They are telling me, in spite of me telling many a time, sir, however much we read, we are not being able to remember, we have not been able to remember, we have not been able to remember. Don't remember. Who asked you to remember? Understand? Don't treat the exam sake monotonously. They are not like your board exams. They are not like your degree exams. Don't get carried away by toppers interviews. Luck favored English. Finally they conquered India. After all, a merchant company which came for trade and commerce, they became the rulers, sir. This is something sensational. When we got independence, our GDP had fallen to 3%. 3%. Morning, my dear. Those of you I am interacting for the first time, I am Seenaiah. I am asked to deal with your modern Indian history part of Civil's Pro portion. When it comes to modern India, better first you know what is modern India before entering into modern India. Then what are the important chapters where from the examiner is setting the question. Then I also suggest you bibliography, what the books you are required to follow. These are the three important things I have to discuss. In general, before entering into the subject history, modern Indian part of history, I wish I should also make certain things clearer to you. Number one, what the history you think and what the history UPSC, for them, it's entirely different. You people are all under the impression that history means wars, battles, kings and all that. Who won the war and who defeated whom and all that. This is nonsense. Not only for UPSC, even for your state services exams also, you are not getting questions on wars, battles, kings and all that. So don't be under the impression that history means full of information, one should remember all this and all that. Questions are not set to test your memory. Please understand this. Questions are set to test your concepts. Conceptually, are you right? Conceptually, are you clear? This is what is very important. People are time and again asking me the question. They are telling me, in spite of me telling many a time, sir, however much we read, we are not being able to remember, we have not been able to remember, we have not been able to remember. Don't remember. Who asked you to remember? Understand? What shall you do? Understand. Practically impossible to remember. I have been teaching this subject for more than 3 decades. But I also can't remember everything that I read. But definitely I will understand. Come to that stage where you can understand well. Don't try to remember. It's very difficult. Other problem, if you try to remember, you will get obsessed. Sir, however much I read, I am not able to remember. This has become an obsession that distracts your concentration. Okay. So kindly, my submission to you people, try to understand, try to get the concept clear. Okay. Then it would be easy for you to handle. Second thing is, this empirical data, wars, kings and all that I told you, you are not going to get questions on them. Okay. So don't be under the impression that battles important, kings important, wars important. That's not that important. So read it out of your interest first. I don't know anything. I am reading it out of my interest. I don't know anything. When you are coming to any class, come to the class with the basic idea that you don't know anything. You are just learning, that's all. When you come to the class to learn, not for exam sake, forget about the UPSC. I am coming to the class just because I don't know anything. I wanted to learn. Then you start loving the subject, whichever the subject it might be. Because there is no burden. Whole problem is, burden IAS. How, what will happen if I don't get into UPSC? What will happen if I don't get into, civil service? What will happen if I fail in the exam? These are the questions that are eating away your brain. That's carrying lot of stress on your mind. Your preparation shall be stress free. Don't read midnight hours, up to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Terrible waste of your time. Read at least 3-4 hours a day. Bas, that's all. Okay. There are people who sit in the library for more than 18 hours, 20 hours. Okay. There's no point in doing it because you are going against your own system. Okay. Don't follow your system. Read 3-4 hours. That too, enjoying the reading. Just read for 3-4 hours. Bas. After that, throw the textbook out and go around. Then you come back again with rejuvenated interest because you are giving body relaxation it requires. Okay. Relax, enjoy your preparation and try to observe it well. Okay. Then it is very easy. If you are strained, if you are totally strained and excited and tensed, tension is the one thing that is really spoiling you people. Lot of tension you are carrying. They say, I want you people to be free from all this. No tension. I try my best. If I get IAS, fine. Otherwise, equally all right for me. I'll give my best. Understand? Cultivate this, that you are giving your best. Give your best. Whatever that you do, give your 100% best. Result is not in your hands. What is there in your hand? You can give your hard work. You can give your better performance. That is there in your hand. Give that. Don't expect result always to be in your favor. I have done my duty, that's all. When my son complained that he could not perform well, I said, don't feel bad. You have done better. What you have done, that's it. Cultivate this because you people are disappointed that you are not been performing well and all that. Don't allow them to enter into your mind. Okay? Enjoy your preparation. I don't know anything, I am learning. I am coming to the class to learn, that's all. I am happy I am learning. Then you will definitely get into the service because you are doing it out of your love for the subject. Okay? When you do anything out of your love for the subject or anything, it's bound to give you back. Okay? Otherwise, it doesn't help you. Okay? That's what I say, Saraswati. Okay? It's not easy to propitiate Saraswati. You require involvement. You require interest in the subject. If you are interested in the subject will take care of you. When you go to even washrooms also, bathrooms also, you keep thinking about the subject. Jnanam means that only. Meditation does not mean sitting in a remote corner and all that. Whatever that you are doing, you are thinking about the subject means that is the ultimate way of preparing. I can't go to bed unless I see today's newspaper. I am very much interested what's going around now. Iran-Israel war. What are the implications of this war? I don't require that now, but it is interest. When we started our civil preparation, we used to read newspapers, right? Morning to evening, very interestedly focused. That culture you develop. When you develop this culture, it will remain all through your life. That culture is very important. Okay? It will definitely give you success, my dear. Okay? Don't treat the exam sake monotonously. They are not like your board exams. They are not like your degree exams. Questions, 5-6 questions are there. Please tell me that questions. Give me the answers. I will go and I will write. I will become IAS. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's not like that. Application of mind is very important in civil services. Second important thing, don't get carried away by toppers interviews. Toppers interviews, don't get carried away by different websites. Toppers, for their greatness, they are projecting. They have made it in the first attempt. They have not been to coaching center. This is nonsense. Okay. They cheat you people. They go around all the coaching centers, but they don't tell you. They have every material there in their room, but they don't accept that. First attempt I made it, they say. First attempt they made, they started 10 years before. Got the point? They don't tell you all these things. It's not that easy to make it in the first attempt. Your preparation must have started quite some time back. They don't tell you when they started the preparation. They only tell you, I made it in the first attempt. Agreed. But when did you start your preparation? They won't tell you that. Okay. So don't be hasty. Don't be under the impression, okay, I can make it in the first attempt. It's not that easy. అంత సులభమైన పని కాదు అది. Understand? It requires lot of effort. Okay. This effort consistent. When can it be consistent? 3-4 hours a day, bus. Read only 3-4 hours. Right. Now come to modern India. What is modern India, my dear? In what way it is different from ancient and medieval? Ancient and medieval times, you had a Hindu society. If not Hinduism, a religion, I should say. It's a society in ancient times. In medieval times, you had Islam entering into India. I am not dividing Indian history on community basis, but in general. Then you have Mughals, Sultans, Mughals and all that. There were some important developments in ancient and medieval times. We say our medieval India ended with the Battle of Plassey 1757. Modern India started with Battle of Plassey 1757, when the English East India Company became the ruler of Bengal. So what is modern? It is modern because you have Europeans coming to India. Europeans coming to India makes it modern. In ancient times also you had Europeans coming to India. In ancient India, Rome, our major trade partner in ancient times. In modern India, you see major European powers, Spain, Portugal, they are the main European powers. Spain never entered India. Portugal, Dutch, English, Danes, French, they all came to India. Powerful countries for trade and commerce. They never expected that they would found an empire in India. Luck favored English. Finally, they conquered India. After all, a merchant company which came for trade and commerce, they became the rulers of India. This is something sensational, something phenomenal. When I go to one place for trade and commerce, begging this Raja, that Nawab for some concession or the other, and one fine morning I have become the ruler of that area, means that is something phenomenal. This was what happened. It's modern India because of drastic changes taking place. What were such drastic changes? A merchant company became a territorial power first, later conquered India. That is number one. Next, number two, India world's richest economy. Second richest economy. Before 1757, our GDP was 24%. It is 25 to 35, not accurately measured, but we say it was definitely around 24 to 28%, 100%. Peter the Great of Russia remarked at one time, trade with India. You trade with India, you are trading with the world. Trade with India means trade with the world. India, richest country in the world. You all know this, I think. Nearly 24 to 28% GDP, world GDP. Okay. Our ratio, 28%. In the export to trade, 24% coming from India. That was the prosperity of India, economic prosperity of India. This economic prosperity of India before 1757 was totally devastated by the English. When we got independence, our GDP had fallen to 3%. 3%. 1947, when you got independence, 66% of India's population remained in poverty. Okay. Our resources exploited. That's why you will come to know under drain of wealth. What is drain of wealth? Drain of wealth, okay, migration of resources from India to England. Never India lost its resources. Resources of other countries entered India in ancient times. You have Pliny, Pliny. Pliny, the great Greek historian. He complained about drain of wealth from Rome to India. That's the question in UPSC. Okay. Whereas now, after 1757, India's resources were getting drained off to Europe. Never it happened before 1757. So why you call it modern India? We call it modern India because Europeans coming to India and English becoming the rulers of India. It's modern India because never India lost its resources before 1757. Unfortunately, after 1757, we lost our resources. You don't write anything, you just listen. When I dictate, I'll dictate. First listen. That's why I'm telling you, you people are very hasty. You have no consistency first. Understand first. Listen. When a teacher is talking to you, better you listen to the teacher first. Don't write anything, remember. And tell the same to your friend. You will not forget it all through your life. When you read something, when you understand something, it shall remain with you for life. Don't treat it as a part of exam and don't treat it as for your civil service. That's what I'm telling. Understand? Unfortunately, reception level had fallen down in today. When faculty is addressing, you are not able to understand it, number one. Even if you understand, you are forgetting it. They are the problems. Okay. Because of distractions, too many distractions. Okay. Not only here, everywhere. In Delhi also there's the same problem there. You are not able to keep them, attentive for more than 10 minutes. After 10-15 minutes, they will look into the watch or like they expect you to dictate. If you dictate for 20 minutes, they cannot write again. Okay. Explanation there. For every 1 hour, 1.5 hour, you require break. Can you take a break in mains exam halls also? There are problems, accept it. First, you have to change yourself. Civil service preparation means it's a mind game first. Unfortunately, people are thinking that I will read this, I will read that. By simply reading something, you cannot become IAS. Culture is very important. I must listen to the person who is addressing you first. Unfortunately, you have no patience. Okay. These websites are spoiling you people. Too many websites. Okay. Too many opinions. Finally confusing you what to do, what not to do. Okay. So first you listen to me. I dictate. When I dictate, you can take down. When I'm explaining, try to understand first. So modern India, because India's wealth being drained off, that's why it is modern India. You mean everything destruction happened? I'm not telling it like that. Positive developments were also there. What were positive developments? First time you see development of communication systems here. Okay. I mean roadways, railways, steam engines, post, telegraphs and all that. Okay. This never happened in medieval times, right? This happened in modern times only. English definitely introduced them. Of course, they introduced them for exploiting the resources of India. That's a different thing. But they also benefited us. Modernization process started. They introduced social legislation. In Indian society, you have all sorts of evils. child marriages, custom sati, prostitution, understand? Widow remarriages were not allowed. There are so many evils. All these evils, one after the other, okay, English tried to remove. Okay, accept it. They made a good attempt to eradicate the social evils. Okay, give them the credit for that. Unfortunately, when we say that English must be given credit, there are some people who are, very vehement, very critical about our stand. But the fact is fact. When we criticize English for looting India, you should also give them credit for wherever that they have done good work. Good work, I should say, progressive legislation. Abhyudaya Chattalu antam Telugu. Progressive legislation. Then English also introduced democratic ideas and institutions. Had England not been the ruler of India, there is no chance of India becoming democratic. It's a fact. India wouldn't have been democratic. It's because English ruled India, democratic India. They gave us parliamentary ideas and institutions. They told us how to write constitution. They have good developments also. They gave us English, language English. I am not telling language English is really good in the interest of India, but definitely English had its own advantages. It's more English that helped Indians to come together than Hindi. Educated people, they are conversing with each other in English, not in Hindi, right? So that's where you see the role of English as a positive medium of instruction. That way, new developments have taken place here. So modern India means it's a blend of contradictions, positive, negative. Right? This is modern India. Take a note. Give the heading Modern India. Important chapters. What are the important chapters priority wise? Important chapters in modern India. Number 1, freedom struggle. This is the most important chapter. You will not have a question paper without a freedom struggle. Either in the prelims or in the mains general studies, freedom struggle is the most important chapter. The first important chapter is freedom struggle. That is the last part of modern India. For us, it is the first most important chapter. Priority wise, examination point of view. Examination point of view, I am giving you priority wise the areas. After freedom struggle, next number 2, constitutional developments. Second important chapter, constitutional developments. Constitutional developments from 1773 Regulating Act, from 1773 Regulating Act to Government of India Act 1935. These acts are very important. You are getting questions on acts. Next, third important chapter, administrative policies. Administrative policies of the British. Next, fourth important chapter, revenue policies. Revenue administration. Revenue policies and their impact. Next, commercial policy and its impact. Trade and commercial policy and its impact. Next one, peasant movements. PEASANT, farmers. Peasant movements, comma. Tribal revolts, TRIB, tribal revolts, comma. Civil rebellions, civil rebellions, and Jamindari revolts of Jamindars. Next chapter, 1857 revolution. 1857 revolution, leaders and the centers of the revolution. Leaders of the revolution and the centers. These leaders and the centers of the revolution, important for prelims, within brackets, important for prelims. You are getting questions on centers and the leaders of the revolution. For the mains, gender studies mains on 1857 revolt, nature and character. Write like this: nature and character of the revolution. Nature and character of the revolution, important for the mains. Mains gender studies. You know, in mains gender studies you have history part. You don't know that also. In mains gender studies, you have Indian culture, modern India, post-independent India, and world history also. You know this, right? So in mains gender studies, if they ask a question on 1857 revolt, generally they ask about nature and character. In the prelims, they are asking questions on leaders and the centers of the revolt. So that way it's an important chapter for us. Next important chapter, reformist movements. Reform, REFORM. Reformist movements. Reformist movements of modern India. Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj, Aligarh movement, Aligarh in Uttar Pradesh, Aligarh movement, and lower caste movements. Very important. Next important chapter, British imperialism. British imperialism. British imperialism, conquest of Bengal. Conquest, CONQUEST. Conquest of Bengal, BENGAL, Anglo-Mysore Wars, ANGLO, Anglo. See, I want to ask you one straight question. Are you comfortable with English? If you are not comfortable, make it quite clear. ఎవరినో మెప్పించడానికి కూర్చోట్లే కదా మనం క్లాస్లో. ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదనే చెప్పుకోవాలి. తెలుగు మీడియం రాస్తే నీకు అవమానం ఏం లేదు. తెలుగులో రాసి ఎంతోమంది ఐఏఎస్ అయిన వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు మన వాళ్ళే. ఇంగ్లీష్ కంఫర్టబుల్గా లేనప్పుడు ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం అని చెప్పబాక, దయచేసి భేషజానికి పోబాకండి. ఇక్కడ నాకు ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదని చెప్పండి, పర్వాలేదు. తెలుగు బ్రహ్మాండంగా రాస్తా అంటే తెలుగులోని చదవండి, తెలుగులో రాసుకోండి. ఎందుకంటే ఆ రకమైనంత పేస్ ఉండాలి. రాసేటప్పుడు, వినేటప్పుడు కానీ, చదివేటప్పుడు కానీ, లేదా రాసేటప్పుడు కానీ ఇంగ్లీష్లో కొంచెం స్పీడ్ ఉండాలి. ఆ పేస్ లేకపోతే ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం రాబాకండి. ఎవరినో మెప్పించాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు కదా, మనకు చెప్పుకోవడానికి సిగ్గెందుకు, భేషజం ఎందుకు. నేను చెప్తున్నప్పుడు కొంతమందికి అర్థం కావట్లేదని నాకు అర్థమవుతుంది. అది క్లాస్కి వచ్చే ముందు అడిగాను, ఇది ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియమా తెలుగు మీడియమా అని. లేదు సార్, అందరూ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియమే అన్న. అందరూ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం అయినప్పుడు ఇంకా మాట్లాడడానికి అవకాశం ఉండదు. నేను చెప్పినట్టుగా రాసుకుంటూ ఉండాలి. బట్ వీఆర్ ఫైండింగ్ ఇట్ డిఫికల్ట్ టు ఫాలో మీ మీన్స్ దర్ సంథింగ్ రాంగ్ ఎదర్ విత్ మీ ఆర్ విత్ యూ పీపుల్. ఆర్ యూ కంఫర్టబుల్ విత్ ఇంగ్లీష్? రైట్, కంటిన్యూ దెన్. Anglo-Mysore Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars, and Anglo-Sikh Wars. You are getting questions both in the prelims and the mains. Within brackets, important chapter for both prelims and mains. Important chapter within brackets for both prelims and mains. Next, last chapter I should say, Advent of Europeans. Last important chapter, Advent, ADVENT. Advent of Europeans. Okay. Hope you are understanding. Priority wise, I have given you the important chapters. Whereas your modern India starts with the Advent of Europeans. First chapter, Advent of Europeans. But importance wise, it is the last chapter. Right. These are important chapters. Then what books you should read? Important textbooks. Textbooks recommended are bibliography. Important textbooks. Number 1, Bipin Chandra, Bipin, Bipin, Bipin Chandra. NCERT, Bipin Chandra, publication, NCERT publication, Modern India. Modern India, NCERT for class 12th, class 1 to 12th, 12th class. 12th class, NCERT, Modern India by Bipin Chandra. This is very well written. Excellent text. He summarized it very well. So, first important textbook, this is the textbook. This is good for your prelims as well for the mains, I should say. Because some of my friends who read only this NCRTs, they got into IAS. But they are very good in absorbing and reflecting. Thinking is more important. You read less, think more. Unfortunately, our people are reading more but thinking less. In UPSC questions, you cannot frame the answer immediately. Answers are not available in any material in civil service. That's the policy of UPSC. UPSC will never encourage private coaching centers. Are you understanding? They are setting the question paper in such way you won't get answers immediately from any material. Call it this Ram, that Ram, Gangaram, Bongaram and all, any material you read, you will not get questions from that. This is standard principle. They will give you questions on their own, at their discretion. Their policy is to make you read first textbooks rather than going after study materials and coaching centers. People are asking, sir, where is the answer for this? There are answers in NCERTs. Unfortunately, you are not reading them. You have got to read NCERT, CBSE textbooks. That's where actually the questions are coming from. Okay. That's why NCERT is a must. For ancient medieval also, you please read NCERTs. They are very important. Okay. Because government publication, UPSC goes by what is the government publication, that is the standard for UPSC, not the study material of coaching centers. They have contempt for coaching centers. Understand? That's why I am telling you, think more, read less. See the past question papers, what they are giving. Unfortunately, you are not also doing this. You are going to the exam simply believing that, I joined a coaching center will take care of me. They will give me class, they will give me material, I will read that material and I will go to the class, exam. See, kindly, no coaching center can do justice, let me tell you. You mean coaching is not required? Coaching is important.